Okay, people. So we were in the middle of the text, or we finished it? We were in the middle. Towards last paragraph was left. Yeah. Hmm. You can say my biggest fantasy is flying. Flying is my biggest fantasy. I want to fly like a bird. This is my biggest fantasy. It means, what does it mean, beta? If I say flying is my biggest fantasy, it means fantasy means a desire, a dream. So biggest dream is to fly. This person wants to fly like a bird who says flying is my biggest fantasy. Okay, listen to this. One of my fantasies is, it means I'm talking about one of those things that I want, but it will not happen because it is unreal. Fantasies are normally very unrealistic, 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 something that will not happen. Don't you have some dreams and desires which you know will never happen, right? Like a lot of girls have this fantasy, a boy will come on a white horse, a handsome looking man, and he will propose to her and she will fall in love with him and they will happily live happily, what is that? Happily ever after. They will live happily ever after. Yeah. They will live happily ever after. Means they will never have any problems. Okay. A fantasy. Children's fantasy. One of the children's fantasy is to be locked in a chocolate factory. And that's why there is a book actually, The Chocolate Factory. I think it's a beautiful story of for children, of course. You know what? The problem with us is when we are growing up, our parents do not give that kind of exposure. There are a lot of books which children should read. These books will help them, I will say, create vivid imagination. Now, if you spend all your day talking to the same 4 or 5 boys that you play with in your street, you'd never have the opportunity to interact with anybody else, then your exposure becomes limited. Imagine a child who starts going out in the streets when he is 3 or 4 and starts playing with the children in the street. And that's all that person does, that child does. He just plays. This is his idea of fun, playing with the children in the street. And when they feel hungry, they come home and they go and play. They come home, they eat, they go and play. And this is how they become 6 or 7. 2, 3 years, life goes like this. Nobody cares. They're small. Okay. But in some other place, there is another 4-year-old child whose father or mother is reading them bedtime stories when he is going to bed. And in those bedtime stories, there are a lot of interesting ideas, a lot of interesting imaginations. Now a child is listening to all these things going to bed. During the day, grandpa has conversations about his childhood with that little boy, 3, 4, 5 years old boy. And he grows 5 or 6, he becomes 5 or 6, experiencing these things. Now his imagination, his exposure has become wider because of all these stories. This is how you teach children. You tell them stories. You put ideas in their minds. But those children who are just playing with other children in the street all the time, I'm not saying for 1 hour or 2 hours, it's very nice, but that's the only thing they do for fun. So they are limiting their exposure. Those children are not learning about the world. They're growing older and older and older and not learning about the world because they are always with a certain number of people, the same people all day, every day. It's not good. So promise to yourself that when you guys become parents, you will bring lots of literature books for your children. If you have young kids at home who are 5 or 6 or 7, bring them fun storybooks with pictures, not course books. Keep them away from school and stuff. Just normal stories, different kinds of stories. There are some classic storybooks. Keep them away from mobile phones and reels and movies. Ask them to read books, Hindi stories, if not in English, no problems. The child will become sensible. His exposure will be wider and he will know more about this world. My daughter is only 15, but I know some other girls who are 17 and 18, but they, to my mind, they appear more childish than my daughter. They have very little knowledge about the world. Why? Again, they spend all day, every day with their family members, not with books, not with movies, not with documentaries, not with comics. Because all these things, comics, documentaries, movies, series, all these things bring new ideas to your mind. Entertainment can also help you grow more mature if the entertainment is of good quality. Would you agree or not? So give yourself quality entertainment. Don't waste your time being with the same people all day, every day, talking about the same thing. Some children like playing goli, marbles, and they play all day. Season changes, they come to Lattu. Then gilli danda. It's good to play. It's good to be physically active. I appreciate it, but not all the time. You need to grow all around. You need to have physical activities in your day-to-day life. You need to stimulate your mind as well by reading things which will be surprising to you. When you live in a small town like yours, where you live, you see one type of world. The world is not like this everywhere. Days are not like this everywhere. Landscape is not like this everywhere. Who will let you know? Who will tell you? How will you learn about it? When will you learn about it is the bigger question. When you go to school and you are 14 or 15, you will directly learn about it in your geography class. It will not really be nice. It's necessary that you have some information beforehand, so that when you are in your geography class and the teacher talks about different types of landscapes, then you feel, yes, I know about that place. That place is always, covered in snow. It is very cold and stuff. Just give me a second. Hello. Yes, sir. और उसकी वजह क्या हो सकती है? तो क्या करना पड़ेगा? तो 15 मिनट तो हम लोग वेट करके देख सकते हैं, राइट? 15 मिनट वेट कर लें। और वो मापारा के साथ एक और बच्ची आने वाली थी, वो आई थी क्या? तो सही सही किया, सही किया। अगर होना होगा तो मंडे को देख लेंगे एक बार, है ना? ठीक है, ठीक है। कर 15 मिनट वेट करके देख लीजिए, जितना हो सकता है आज कर लें, ठीक है? ओके, थैंक यू। So maybe you guys didn't get this opportunity when you were young, but promise to yourself that you are going to do this to your children in the future. Don't expect your children will become very good just by it on its own. It takes efforts from guardians' side. They need to spend time with children, talking to them, shaping their mindset, shaping their thinking, giving them exposure. It's all necessary. So you young kids, if when Sachet, Adnan, Arham, you guys, I suggest ask your parents to buy you storybooks. And if they don't worry. Nowadays you have a lot of stories available on the internet. Children's stories, lovely stories. Those stories will at least you shouldn't think that you will read one story and it will change you. It will just give you some exposure. For example, there is a classic story for children, Rapunzel story. A girl with such long hair, right? You have read, पढ़ा होगा ना बेटा? तुम्हारा एक्सपोजर लगता है, तभी तो तुम्हारा थोड़ा सा दिमाग भी चलता है दूसरे तरीके से, और इस तरह की चीजें हैं बेटा. There is more. Again, एक बार चल, अभी nowadays we have YouTube, you have Google, so you can search stuff as well. I will definitely make some recommendations. Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, याद आ गया, the story. Guys, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, this is the name of the book. It's a classic. A lot of children read this. Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. English में मिले, English में, हिंदी में मिले, हिंदी में पढ़ो. Because I'm pretty sure this book has been translated into Hindi as well. Because it's such a lovely book for children. When I was young, I loved reading. My favorite time was when my parents allowed me to buy Nandan. We used to, persuade them. We used to beg them a lot, please, please, a Nandan, please, because we wanted to read the newspaper, but the newspaper was not the right thing for us. We were small. The newspaper is for adults, serious matter. So we just requested Nandan, please. Of course, Nandan was 4 rupees, 5 rupees back then. Okay. And it was a lot of money, 4 rupees, 5 rupees back then when I was a young boy. So parents didn't agree most of the time. Sometimes when the finances were good, when money was good, they said, okay, buy one. Oh my goodness. That was always the best day when we got a new Nandan. Every 2-3 months, we used to get a Nandan, not every month. After 2-3 months, we used to convince them, please, please, this month, Nandan. Then Champak was cheaper, 2 rupees. And we used to read this, and I believe it has definitely helped me a lot. When I meet people who are not good with words, okay, I realize why they're not good with words. They never did any reading. They have grown up only listening to people's conversation. When you're talking to someone, you are exposed to only a limited number of words. Okay, I'll be right back. There's somebody to see me. And you guys, when there is a deep cut, deep wound, deep injury, you just don't want to do plaster. Okay, you want to first of all make sure that the injury is properly taken care of. Covering the injury will not help solve the problem. Okay, that injury will stay there. So my point is, there is a problem with the way people are bringing their children up. Look at these two. I'm talking about little girls, Inaya and Ayat. Okay, I'm pretty sure the parents are doing extra things than so many other parents are doing for them. They are being exposed to outside world through programs on TV, which some people think it's not a good idea, but I think it is a great thing. Watching TV is a great thing. But again, don't watch TV all day long, but watch TV. Because when you're watching TV, you come across ideas that you will not get to know about otherwise. So watching TV is not always bad. It's a great thing for young kids. How will a mother who is not very educated talk about things like, okay, so many things. I mean, there are cartoons like Motu Patlu. Okay, even when Motu Patlu you're watching, then they talk about some problems that they are trying to solve, right? So you get to know about it. But if you're not watching any TV at all, then your exposure is limited to your neighborhood only. You don't know anything outside your neighborhood. That is how the world was before TV. People lived in villages and they did not know anything outside their villages unless they went, somewhere else. But today, you can be in your home and still you can have the exposure of the whole world through TV, through the internet, right? So please appreciate these things. And the first thing you can start doing is read some stories. And if you don't like reading, it's okay. Listen to some stories. Nowadays, audio stories are available on YouTube as well. On Google, you can find audio stories which you don't have to read. You can simply listen. I believe that in the future, maybe people will forget reading again. In long-term future, people will again forget reading. Of course, we don't need to. Every book can be in the form of audio, right? So even if somebody doesn't know how to read, they can listen and understand the message like they did earlier. So I don't know. Okay, let's look at the exercise we have here. Zara beta, I want you to now change your partner. You guys, it is time now. Okay, first, I did not stop you from sitting with your brother, right? But now I want you, both of you, to sit with new partners every day. Someday with her, someday with him, so that you can interact with other people as well. I was talking about exposure, right? So you are brother, sister, of course, you will go home together. But when you are in the class, sit with different people and study with different people. Look at the way they study. Maybe we'll learn something from their style of studying, their method of studying. Okay. So yeah, it's a good idea. And I think you can do it now. You can handle it now. Last paragraph of John Lennon text, everybody. Just a second. Workbook, workbook, workbook. Who was that guy, Shams? He was not your age, but he was giving your recommendation, not your reference, not your uncle's reference. The guy who came to meet me, you talked about the class to someone who's doing, BTech. Yeah. So who's that guy? Yeah. He, he comes to your house as well to study, to teach. I mean, who does he teach? Who does he teach? He teaches you or your brother? He teaches you. Oh, interesting. He's a nice guy. He was killed a month later. Later. Later is a good word. People don't use this word here. They only use the word after, after, after. Okay? After and later are different words. I will explain. Okay? Normally, after is used to link two sentences. I'll tell you. I brush my teeth and I have breakfast. Now link. No. I have breakfast after I brush my teeth. Understand? I have breakfast after I brush my teeth. Please understand. Please understand. I brush my teeth, I have breakfast. Okay? So everybody knows which happens first and which happens later. Which happens first? First you brush your teeth. After that, you eat breakfast, you have breakfast, right? First you brush your teeth and after that, so हम after that नहीं बोल रहे, खाली after कैसे use करेंगे? Please understand. I eat breakfast after I brush my teeth. ब्रश करने के बाद, ये मुश्किल है थोड़ा सा, तो प्लीज अंडरस्टैंड. सब लोग आफ्टरवर्ड यूज करते रहते हैं, ठीक है, लेकिन हमें लेटर सीखना है. आफ्टर के लिए थोड़ी देर वेट कर सकते हैं, कोई बात नहीं, अभी लेटर पे ध्यान देते हैं, ठीक है. I got married in 2008. 10 months later, my daughter was born. Okay. The movie started. 10 minutes later, light went out. So 10 minutes कब से गिनना बेटा? Since the movie started. 10 minutes कहाँ से बेटा? Since the movie started. जब मूवी शुरू हुआ उस समय से, राइट बेटा? Since the movie started. हाँ, तो फिर से बोलता हूँ. The movie started. 2 वर्ड का सेंटेंस बनाया. The movie, फिल्म शुरू हुई, 10 मिनट बाद लाइनवा कट गया. 10 minutes later, lights went out, light went out, light went out, light went out. Okay, so electricity went out. Okay, light went out, electricity went out. इसका मतलब 10 मिनट कब से बेटा? Since the film started. Okay. All right. Usually we reach the class first. All right. And about 15 minutes later, the teacher comes. Okay, like this. Okay. चलो कोई नहीं. Later, John Lennon was killed a month later. A month later मतलब a month since his double fantasy came out. Okay. उसने डबल फैंटेसी रिकॉर्ड करी थी ना, एक महीने उसके बाद. He was killed a month later. A month later. An American, Mark Chapman, shot him. Who shot him? Who was Mark Chapman? Yeah. And where was he from? It's written, an American, Mark Chapman, shot him outside his New York apartment. Shot him. Shot is the V2 of shoot. Shot him outside his New York apartment near Central Park. 2 days before his murder, 2 days before his murder, murder के 2 दिन पहले, 2 days before his murder, John Lennon told an interviewer, I feel safe in New York. देखो, 2 days before his death, 2 days before his murder, सिर्फ मर्डर के 2 दिन पहले, he told an interviewer, I feel safe in New York. I can go anywhere. It's my home. All right. And 2 days later, somebody shot him. Now you might be thinking, आप सोच रहे होगे, you might be thinking, काहे मारा? Why did this, American man, Mark Chapman, American, why did he shoot him? काहे मारा उसको? I'll tell you. The reason was very stupid. It was not that Mark Chapman didn't like. ऐसा नहीं है कि, कैसे बोला मैंने कैसे कहा? ऐसा नहीं है कि, इंग्लिश में कैसे कहा? It was not that Mark Chapman didn't like him. ऐसा नहीं कि मार्क चैपमैन उसको पसंद नहीं करता था. कैसे बोला मैंने? It was not that Mark Chapman didn't like him. It was not that Mark Chapman didn't like him. क्या? अगर मैं अभी, ऐसा नहीं कि मैं तुमको पसंद नहीं करता. It's not that I don't like you. ठीक है? ऐसा नहीं कि हम आपको पढ़ाना नहीं चाहते. It's not that. ठीक है? ऐसा नहीं कि हम मेहनत नहीं करते. I don't work hard. It's not that I don't work hard. I work very hard. ऐसा नहीं कि हम मेहनत नहीं करते. कैसे बोलेंगे बेटा? I work hard, very hard, but still I don't learn anything. Okay. Guys, can we continue? I'll tell you. The reason was very funny. Sometimes people kill you because their opinion is different from you. So they kill you. But in this case, that was not the matter. Mark Chapman shot him, killed him, because he wanted to be popular. He wanted to be famous. He wanted to be, and he thought, if I kill a famous person, I will become famous. Such a loser. Such a loser. What kind of thinking is it? If I kill a famous person, I will become famous. He loved, John Lennon. Mark Chapman liked him a lot. He himself was a musician. And he wanted to join the Beatles. He wanted to become part of the Beatles. The band. Beatles is a band. कितने लोगों को पता है बीटल्स इज अ बैंड? नहीं, बेसिक बात तो समझानी चाहिए ना। ठीक है नासिर हुसैन, बीटल्स इज अ बैंड, कल नहीं थे ना, इसीलिए नहीं पता चल रहा है तुमको कुछ। बेचारा चेहरा बनाए हुए है, क्या करे। कल रिकॉर्डिंग देख लेता मेरा भाई, भेजे थे ना। क्या देखा? नहीं देखा ना रिकॉर्डिंग, थोड़ा काहे देखोगे। हेलो सर। हेलो, गुड आफ्टरनून। आई एम फाइन, थैंक यू, आर यू? No, I'm teaching. Hmm. 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 Talk to you. Hmm. 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 Good. I will. I will. Don't worry. Bye bye. Take care. So he wanted to join the Beatles. बेटा देखना चाहिए था, देख पाए पूरा देखना। ठीक है। और खुश हो रहा था कि सर भूल गया। आधा के फिर से याद आ गया मुझे कि तूने नहीं देखा। क्यों करते हो ऐसा? कल नहीं देखा, कल क्लास नहीं आए, एक गलती हुई है। अच्छा ठीक है, आज आज नहीं, आज आए हो फिर भी आज फायदा नहीं ले पाओगे, क्योंकि कल का पता ही नहीं क्या हो रहा है। तो देख लेना चाहिए था, आज का फायदा मिलता ना बेटा, कल देख लिए होते तो। अब आज हो फिर भी इसका फायदा नहीं मिल रहा है, वो बोर हो रहे होगे। सो ही वांटेड टू जॉइन द बीटल्स द बैंड, he wanted to become part of the band, but the problem was the band had already broken up. So he was a little annoyed too. He was a little, he was annoyed that he was not going to become the part of the Beatles. So he thought he wanted his name to be associated with the Beatles somehow at any cost. I mean, there were a lot of musicians, but he wanted to become one of the Beatles. He wanted to join the Beatles. He wanted his name to be associated with the Beatles. He wanted his name to be connected with the Beatles. But the Beatles had already broken up. So he was annoyed too. He thought, okay, I couldn't join the Beatles. The band has broken up. But if I kill John Lennon, then everybody will talk about me. When they talk about the Beatles, they will talk about me. My name will be associated with the Beatles. Good way or bad way, doesn't matter. But my name will be associated. He killed, John Lennon because of this only. No enmity, no anger, no displeasure, nothing. It was just that he wanted his name to be attached to, John Lennon's name. He said, okay, I will be the killer of John Lennon. Lo. कोई आपके लिए सोच ले कि आपके साथ मेरा नाम जुड़ना चाहिए, चाहे कहीं से भी जुड़े, पेट में छुरा घोप दे, सब बात करेगा क्या यार। दिस इज sick. This is sick mentality. This is not healthy mentality. A healthy man cannot think like this. A sick person can think like this. Unbelievable. And this guy, John Lennon, died at a young age of 40 only. In 1980, By the way, this man had a very beautiful thought, a beautiful thinking. He wanted the world to be more united. He wanted the world to be violence free. And he wrote a song called the Imagine, which everybody loved. People loved that song. I'm going to put the lyrics in the group for you. Imagine there is no heaven. He says, imagine there is no heaven. Imagine करो कि कोई स्वर्ग नहीं होता, कोई जन्नत नहीं होती। इमेजिन करो। Imagine there is no heaven and no hell. Imagine there is no hell. Now यहाँ तो लोग ज्यादातर इसी चक्कर में जी रहे हैं कि मरने के बाद राइट स्वर्ग में जाएंगे, जन्नत जाएंगे। और वो कह रहा है ये सब भूल जाओ, ये सब भूल जाओ। Imagine there is no heaven and there is no hell. Okay, I'll put the song. Imagine there is no heaven. It's easy if you try. He says, it's easy if you try. आप लोग कभी ऐसा सोचे होंगे कि कुछ है मरने के बाद कोई हेवन नहीं होगा, ऐसा सोचा है आपने? Okay, so the lyrics are in the group. Imagine there is no heaven. ऐसे imagine करो कि कोई heaven नहीं होता. It's easy if you try. हो जाएगा, कोशिश करोगे. It's easy if you, इंग्लिश भी आसान लग रहा है ना? It's easy if you no hell below us. No hell. और हमेशा बोलता है हेवन ऊपर और हेल नीचे, ऐसे लोग सोचते हैं. नो हेल बिलो अस. ऐसा मत सोचो, मत सोचो कोई जहन्नम है हमारे पैरों के नीचे, हमारे नीचे. मत सोचो. There is no heaven, there is no hell. Above us only sky. बस सिर्फ आसमान है ऊपर, कुछ नहीं है. ओके, ये आपको कह रहा है इमेजिन करने के लिए. The singer is asking you to imagine. There is no heaven and there is no hell. ये आपको इमेजिन करने के लिए कह रहा है. और सुनिए, imagine all the people living for today. Imagine, क्या इमेजिन करने के लिए कह रहा है? इमेजिन करिए, all the people living for today. Imagine all the people living for today. ऐसा इमेजिन करिए कि सारे लोग बस आज के लिए जी रहे हो. मतलब क्या बेटा, आज के लिए जी रहा? पता है ना, सब कल के बारे में सोच रहा है. कल क्या होगा? कुछ लोग बुढ़ापे में क्या होगा, कुछ लोग मरने के बाद क्या होगा. राइट? Imagine all the people living for today. इसके दोनों साइड हो गया? नहीं बता रहा. Oh my God, so sad. Maybe on Monday we will try. Okay, you don't need to go now. I think आपको शायद अब जाने की जरूरत नहीं पड़ेगी. नंबर पे क्यों नहीं मंगवा रहे थे OTP? हाँ, ओ किसी का नहीं गिरा था. हाँ हाँ. ओ अच्छा अच्छा अच्छा. Okay, let's see. Can we continue? Continue करें जमाम. Nasir, shall we continue? Yes. Okay. So he says, imagine all the people living for, there are two things about it. Some people think about the future and don't enjoy life. Some people think about future and do wrong things as well. For example, all those people who are doing corruption, they are worried about today or they are worried about tomorrow. Think about it. Tomorrow. They think कि कल पैसा नहीं रहेगा तो, right? So they do corruption today. हाँ, बच्चों के लिए बचा लेते हैं, बना के रख देते हैं घर. So they are worried about, and he is asking you to live for today. बस आज का टेंशन लो ना यार. There are so many children, dear students. There are so many children in this world. There are so many human beings in this world who do not have enough to eat. People living in Africa, people living in some parts of India, they don't have enough food to eat. On the other hand, some people are saving grains, wheat and rice in the godowns for the next year. Is it fair, guys? Think about it. You have to ensure that everybody eats today. Then maybe worry about it. But most of us, we don't care about our neighbors and we worry about our future. Everybody is worried about our future. Everybody is worried about their future. And that's why they don't do the right things. Because they're worried. आज आपके पास है पैसा, दोस्त को नहीं दे रहे, कल जरूरत पड़ा तो वापस नहीं करा तो, right? Imagine all the people living for today. Imagine there is no countries. He says, imagine there is no borders. ये अमेरिका है, ये इंडिया, ये पाकिस्तान है, no borders, no China. Imagine there is no countries. कहता है imagine करो. कैसे imagine करे यार? लेकिन हाँ, अगे नहीं possible तो होगा. Possible होगा. I'll tell you why. भाई सुनो. Today you think of Bihar as one state. Okay. Today you think of India as one country. But in the past, there were lots of small parts and they were not together. Okay, they thought of themselves in a very different way. विदेशी हो जाते थे एक दूसरे के लिए. Inside India, दूसरे राज्य से आया तो विदेशी है वो. So in 2000 years, a lot of things have changed. So another 2000 years, 4000 years, who knows? Maybe there will be an alien attack and all the people will become one, united. अरे भाई लड़ना है उससे. छोड़ भाग इंडिया पाकिस्तान बनकर, लड़. Otherwise, what? I hope you understand. When inside the house, brothers are fighting with each other. But when the neighbor starts fighting, they come together, right? So we will become the earthens, the people on the earth, and they will become aliens and we will fight with them. We will become united. Okay. मतलब कुछ ना कुछ टेंशन जरूरी है लाइफ में. Imagine there is no countries. It isn't hard to do. He's saying it isn't hard to do. Nothing to kill or die for. ऐसा कुछ ना हो जिसके लिए जान दिया जाए या लिया जाए. Nothing to kill or die for. लोग कहते हैं मातृभूमि के लिए जान दे देंगे. हाँ, अभी तो लग रहा है सही. अभी तो सही लग रहा है. लेकिन उन लोगों ने जिन्होंने बिहार और मगध और कलिंग के युद्ध में जान दे दिया बेचारों ने. मगध और कलिंग. Ashoka was the king of Magad. And Kalinga was ruled by a girl, perhaps, I don't remember the name. There was a very, very bloody battle. A lot of people died. आज बिहार और उड़ीसा में कोई झगड़ा है भाई? उड़ीसा था, कलिंगा उड़ीसा था, उड़ीसा. तो आज के डेट में वो लोग सोच रहे हैं क्या कि अरे ये लोग विदेशी लोग हम लोग के घर को मारा था, ऐसा सोच रहे हैं वो? 2000 साल में भूल गए सब. लेकिन हम लोग नहीं सोचते कि हम लोग एक हो सकते हैं. Imagine there is no countries. It isn't hard to do. Nothing to kill or die for. ऐसा कोई चीज ना हो जिसके लिए जान दिया जाए या लिया जाए. कहते हैं ना, जान दे देंगे माँ के लिए, जान दे देंगे मातृभूमि के लिए, जान दे देंगे इज्जत के लिए, राइट? जान दे देंगे धर्म की रक्षा के लिए. ले भी लेंगे, दे भी लेंगे, दे भी देंगे. लोग होते हैं पागल, लोग होते हैं पागल. लेकिन जान लेना ज्यादा उनको सही लगता है. उसमें माचोइज्म समझ में आता है, मर्दानगी दिखती है जान लेने में. ओके. देयर इज नथिंग टू किल और डाई फॉर. ऐसा कुछ नहीं है जिसके लिए जान दिया जाए, जान लिया जाए. वो कहना चाह रहे आपको. लिविंग, इमेजिन ऑल द पीपल. ओके. एंड नो रिलीजन टू. इमेजिन करिए कोई रिलीजन ना हो, मतलब कुछ मान्यता ही ना हो. बड़ा मुश्किल काम है, खास करके इंडिया में. बात नो रिलीजन मतलब हिंदू मुसलमान सिख ईसाई सब एक, सब एक. ऑलराइट. इमेजिन देयर इज नो रिलीजन. इमेजिन ऑल द पीपल लिविंग लाइफ इन पीस. क्योंकि झगड़ा तो होता है इस बात से, मोहल्ले में हो जाता है. गाय खा के गिरा दिया मेरे घर के सामने, राइट? लड़ाई हो गया. और सुनो, अजान के समय हनुमान चालीसा बजा रहा है जोर जोर से, लड़ाई हो गया, राइट? यू नीड स्मॉल एक्सक्यूजेस लाइक दिस एंड पीपल डाई. सो दिस गाय इज सेइंग लड़ने का कोई वजह ना हो. एंड ऑल द पीपल लिविंग लाइफ इन पीस. आगे सुने. यू मे से आई एम अ ड्रीमर. तुम हो सकता है कह दो कि हम ड्रीमर हैं। ड्रीमर समझ गया ना, जो खाली सपने। यू मे से, हो सकता है तुम कह दो, यू मे से, हो सकता है तुम कह दो आई एम अ ड्रीमर, यू मे से आई एम अ ड्रीमर, बट आई एम नॉट द ओनली वन। वो क्या कह रहा है? आई एम नॉट द ओनली वन, हम अकेले नहीं हैं, और भी लोग हैं। साजिद भी है, हम भी हैं साथ में, राइट साजिद? ओके। हाँ भाई, हम लोग हैं ड्रीमर, ड्रीमर होंगे, लेकिन हम भी हैं साथ में। आई होप समडे यू विल ज्वाइन अस, हम उम्मीद करते हैं तुम लोग भी ज्वाइन कर लोगे इस बात को। आई होप समडे यू विल ज्वाइन अस, कोई गलत बात तो बुलवा नहीं रहे, पीस की बात कर रहे, प्यार की बात कर रहे, ऐसा तो नहीं कर रहे मार दो सबको जाके। हाँ, इमेजिन ऑल द पीपल लिविंग लाइफ इन पीस, बट यू मे से आई एम अ ड्रीमर, बट आई एम नॉट द ओनली वन, एंड आई होप समडे यू विल ज्वाइन अस। ज्वाइन करोगे मतलब तुमने तुमने भी ऐसा ही सोचना शुरू कर देना है, समडे, किसी दिन। ये एंड द वर्ल्ड विल बी एज वन, और दुनिया एक होगी। एंड द वर्ल्ड विल बी एज वन। दुनिया इज फ्रेगमेंटेड, ब्रोकन इनटू पीसेस, पार्ट्स। इमेजिन नो पोजेशंस, और लो, इमेजिन नो पोजेशंस। अब ये क्या होता है पोजेशन? जो भी चीजें हैं ना आपके पास, वो आपकी पोजेशन है। A house, a car, खेत, your books, your clothes, these are all your possessions. और वो कह रहा है imagine there is no possession. भाई जो तेरा वो मेरा, जो मेरा वो, ये तो भाई, ये तो बड़ा ही गड़बड़ है मामला। Imagine there is no possessions. I wonder if you can. वो कहता है I wonder if you can. हमको तो नहीं लगता कि तुम कर पाओगे imagine. I wonder if you, हमको तो नहीं लगता कि तुमसे होगा, हम सोच रहे हो भी पाएगा तुमसे? सोच पाओगे कि दुनिया हो जिसमें किसी का कोई चीज ना हो, कोई चीज किसी का? हालांकि आइडिया थियोरेटिकली थोड़ी मुश्किल इसलिए है क्योंकि ह्यूमन बीइंग्स आर ड्रिवन बाय दीज आइडियाज कि मेरा कुछ होगा, इसलिए काम करते हैं। अगर आपके, अब देखो जॉइंट फैमिली में पीपल डोंट, please please don't do that. In joint family everybody relaxes कि अपना थोड़ी होगा जो होगा, but in a nuclear family बहुत मेहनत करता है, जो होगा अपना होगा। तो human beings are driven by this thing, possession, मेरा बढ़ेगा, कहीं ना कहीं उनको लगता है, इसलिए काम करते हैं। रशिया में कम्युनिज्म था और वो फ्लॉप हो गया बिकॉज कम्युनिज्म इंसान के नेचर के खिलाफ जाता है दोस्तों। ये जो बात कह रहे हैं ना, ये वाला, ये इंसानी फितरत के खिलाफ चला जाता है। बहुत इवॉल्व करना पड़ेगा इंसान को। आपको पता चले कि कुछ भी आपका नहीं रहेगा और सब कुछ आपका रहेगा, आपको कितना मोटिवेशन होगा काम करने का। लगेगा खाना ऐसे मिल ही जाए तो काम क्यों करें, ऐसी फीलिंग आ सकती है। अभी के इंसानों को तो आएगी। मे बी व्हेन ह्यूमन बीइंग्स इवॉल्व मोर, then maybe situation will change, but I don't feel very comfortable with this idea. Imagine no possessions. He says I wonder if you can. सही बोल रहा है, हमसे भी नहीं हो पा रहा है ये imagine। उसने कहा I wonder if you can, मतलब हमसे को नहीं लगता कि आपसे हो पाएगा। क्या हो पाएगा? ये imagine नहीं कर पाओगे आप। No need for greed or hunger, आगे कह रहे हैं ऐसे कोई ना हंगर होगी ना लालच होगी। No need for greed or hunger. Umar, are you doing something with your fingers? Unintentionally. He didn't realize that he was doing it. Okay. Subconsciously, he was just, he didn't realize that he was disturbing the class, right? No need for greed or hunger. No need for greed or, कोई हंगर ना हो, सबके खाना है, सबको मिला, और किसी को ज्यादा की जरूरत ना हो। अरे भाई पेट भर गया, बात खत्म। नो नीड फॉर ग्रीड मीन्स लालच, और हंगर भूख, कोई जरूरत ना हो उस सब चीज की दुनिया में। ए ब्रदरहुड ऑफ मैन, ए ब्रदरहुड ऑफ, मतलब इंसानों में भाई वाला रिश्ता हो। यानी कि अभी भी होता है, कुछ लोग होते हैं अरे तू भी वही हम भी वही, समझ रहे हो ना? हाँ, लेकिन वो कोई आइडेंटिटी ढूंढते हैं, इंसान को ऐसे नहीं बोलते, वो इंसान के आगे वाली आइडेंटिटी ढूंढते हैं। तब कहते हैं हम लोग एक जैसे हैं, फलना तू जात हम फलने जात, चल भाई ठीक है, तू फलना धर्म हम भी फलना धर्म भाई। ये नहीं हो, इंसान का नाता हो इंसान से, ब्रदरहुड ऑफ मैन, नॉट ब्रदरहुड ऑफ रिलीजन, नॉट ब्रदरहुड ऑफ कास्ट, ब्रदरहुड ऑफ मैन। कोई गलत बात नहीं बोल रहा इमेजिन करने के लिए। अगेन, इमेजिन ऑल द पीपल शेयरिंग ऑल द वर्ल्ड, पूरी दुनिया पूरी लोगों के लिए। कुछ लोग कहेंगे केओस हो जाएगा पूरा, भक्त कुछ समझ नहीं आया कहाँ क्या कैसे हो रहा है। अभी कम से कम एक सिस्टम बना हुआ है, सही है, सही है, सिस्टम तो है, बट स्लोली एंड स्लोली दिस सिस्टम इज चेंजिंग। यू नो, आई विल टेल यू समथिंग। ये नो नीड फॉर ग्रीड और हंगर पे आते हैं। इन कनाडा एंड इन सम कंट्रीज, इफ यू डोंट हैव अ जॉब, then the government will give you some money, okay, to buy your basic things like food and clothes, even if you don't have a job. They will keep sending you options to do job, but if you don't get the job, they will keep giving you a small amount of money. क्यों करते हैं भाई? और वो कहां से आता है पैसा? छाप के भेजते हैं, नो, अदर पीपल हु आर अर्निंग, उन्हीं का टैक्स में से वो दे देते हैं थोड़ा सा। व्हाई? बिकॉज नहीं रहेगा तो तुम चोरी करोगे। तो अगर आप ग्रीड हटाते हैं, हंगर हटाते हैं, तो बहुत सी चीजें अच्छी हो जाती है। बिकॉज अ लॉट ऑफ पीपल डू बैड थिंग्स बिकॉज दे हैव नो चॉइस। A lot of people do bad things because they have no choice. So I think it's a great idea to sharing what you have. It's always good. Do you share? Do you like sharing? Yeah, I mean, some people don't have nature of sharing. I will tell you a story. So I was going to Gaya with my wife, and coincidentally, we got the seats. The bus got crowded because there were a lot of people going to do the exams. And there was a lady on the bus, and there was a young man. He had some big luggage with him. So the lady wanted to sit on it. Okay, he said, no, no, mat baitho us pe. I thought maybe it has something which can be damaged, something fragile, something delicate. Then I didn't say anything. Half an hour later, that guy sat on that thing. Okay, I got really annoyed. I said, when that lady was trying to sit on it, you said, don't sit. You yourself are sitting now. He said, मेरा ना है। मैंने कहा तो भाई ले नहीं जाती वो बैठती तो, मेरी मर्जी। He was so rude. And the woman who was trying to sit was an old lady, like in her 50s or 60s, not a young woman. And still he did not have any kindness to say, okay, बैठ जाइए. He said, नहीं बैठो. Then I thought maybe it has something which can be damaged easily. Sometimes you have that kind of stuff. But a half an hour, 40 minutes, 30, 15 minutes later, he himself sat on that thing. And when I questioned him, I did question him, पूछे उससे कि क्या था भाई, वो बैठ रही थी तो तुम मना कर दिया कि मत बैठो, तुम खुद बैठ गए, तो मेरा ना सामान है। मैंने कहा तो ले जाती, तो नहीं, मेरा सामान नहीं बैठेगी वो। तो what the hell? Your mom will never travel, and if this happens, फालतू लेक्चर मत दीजिए। That is how he reacted. Okay. Some people don't like sharing. It's not that that lady would have carried his luggage, nothing. But still he didn't let her sit. Anyways, moving on. Imagine all the people sharing all the world. You may say, I'm a dreamer. You may say, I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. And I hope someday you will join us. You will join us. Will you join us? If you don't join us, your grandchildren will certainly join us. I promise. Okay, because the world is changing so fast. And अगर आपके दिमाग में भी इंफॉर्मेशन आने लगे, जो इंफॉर्मेशन चाहिए होगा, जो जरूरी है होना, आगे सारा फाइल अपडेट होगा ना, तो आपका सॉफ्टवेयर अलग तरह से काम करेगा। अपडेट नहीं हुआ आपका फाइल, पुराना वर्जन पे चल रहा है। जो बताया है मम्मी पापा बचपन में, बस उसी वर्जन पे चल रहा है। न्यू इन्फॉर्मेशन हैज अराइव्ड, अपडेट करो और देखो। मुदस्सिर अपडेटिंग हो गया मुदस्सिर को। I talked to your Nana ji, sounded very gentle type of person. Yeah, he sounded very gentle. आप 2 मिनट रुक के बुला देते हैं। So now the next thing in the main book, guys, adjectives. I taught you ed adjectives, ing adjectives. थोड़ा बात कर ले उस पे। So a movie can be bored or movie can be boring. Movie can be आदमी, यही कनेक्शन है, ये बात याद रखना। मूवी कैन बी बोरिंग and the people who are watching, they will be bored. That's the connection. A boring movie makes you bored. Spelling of bored देख लो बेटा। Spelling of bored, take a look. B-O-R-E-D, the switch above that. Yes. Yeah, left. Yeah, that's enough. Yeah, thank you. So I was saying a boring movie can make you bored. That's the connection. A confusing story can make you confused. A confusing question can also make you confused. So that's the connection. ING and ED. An annoying child can make you annoyed. You go to a party or you're on the train and there is an annoying child. You don't like that child, बड़ा टेंशन दे रहा है, इसका मतलब वो चाइल्ड कैसा है? अनॉयड है कि अनोइंग है? और टेंशन दे रहा है तुमको, अनोइंग होगा। नहीं, बोरिंग फिल्म थी तो तुम्हें बोर्ड किया, तुम्हें टेंशन हो उस बच्चे से, क्यों? अनोइंग है। तुमने जो मना के वही करे जा रहा है, तुम्हारी तरफ देख के ऐसे ऐसे कर रहे हैं। ऑलराइट, तुमने कहा खिड़की बंद करो, खिड़की खोल रहा है। ही इज अनोइंग। So do you have some annoying children in your family, in your neighborhood? I don't find children annoying. Normally, I don't find children annoying. मुझे बच्चे नहीं लगते annoying. I don't find them annoying. I know some children are stubborn, जिद्दी. Some children are stubborn, but मुझे annoy नहीं करते. Children don't annoy me. Yeah, right. Yeah, but still, I have a suggestion for you. Get your mobile, you know, because now I realize that you can't be listening to the audio files at home because you don't have your mobile. That's costing you. Okay. So try and find something so that you can practice listening at home. Let's look at exercise 3. Life in New York. Exercise 3. There are 4 pairs of sentences. I give you 5 minutes. Do it. अभी मैंने बताया आपको, boring films can make you bored. Confusing questions can make you confused. An annoying child can make you annoyed. Insulting questions can make you insulting make you insulted. वही ed adjective connection है ये, id ing ed. उसने I felt insulted. I felt, क्यों भाई? बुलाया, इनवाइट किया और गए तो एक शब्द बात नहीं किया, तो आपका कैसा फील हो रहा है? इंसल्टेड, उसका बिहेवियर कैसा था? सोचोगे तो समझ में आ जाएगा कि किसके लिए ईडी, इंसान कैसा फील करता है उसके लिए ईडी, और वो फील कराने वाले रीजन जो है वो आईएनजी। लाइफ इन न्यूयॉर्क इज वेरी एक्साइटिंग। जो लोग रह रहे होते हैं उनको कैसा फील होता है? एक्साइटेड। ओके, और जो नहीं रहता तो उनको बुरा लगता है कि जाए वहां रहे हैं। लाइफ इन न्यूयॉर्क इज वेरी एक्साइटिंग। ओके, इट्स माय बर्थडे टुमारो, आई एम रियली एक्साइटेड, आई एम रियली एक्साइटेड, इट्स माय बर्थडे टुमारो, आई एम रियली एक्साइटेड, मजा आ रहा है, एक्साइटेड है। आप एक्साइटेड होते हैं फॉर योर बर्थडे नाउ? आई एम वेरी एक्साइटेड अबाउट this KYP transformation. I'm excited about the transformation. मुझे खाली लड़के नहीं चाहिए, लड़के तो और भी तरीके से बताया ना मैंने, वो आ सकते हैं। जब कोई 3 दे रहा है, आप 5 दे दो, ऑफर कर दो, चलो बात खत्म हो गया, कमीशन बढ़ा दो, आ जाएंगे आपके पास सारे। बट आई डोंट वांट दैट ओनली, आई एम फीलिंग एक्साइटेड अबाउट द ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन दैट आई एम गोइंग टू ब्रिंग। कॉन्फिडेंस मेरा बढ़ रहा है, आ जाएगा। कुछ बच्चों से मैंने पूछा कि तुम लोगों ने पूरा कोर्स लगभग खत्म कर दिया, 3 दिन से मैंने तुम्हें आधे आधे घंटे पढ़ाया कुछ कुछ, इस 3 दिन में तुम ज्यादा सीखे हो कि पूरे कोर्स में? बोला इस 3 दिन में। मैंने कहा बस 3 दिन मेरा कोर्स से बेहतर है। अगर मैंने 3 दिन भी पढ़ा दिया तो कोर्स से बेहतर है, क्योंकि तुम आज ज्यादा जानते हो इन 3 दिनों के बेहतर कोर्स के अंदर तुलना में। इसे 100% आगे आगे बढ़ाने वाला काम नहीं करना, कंप्यूटर बैठ के आगे बढ़ाओ आगे बढ़ाओ आगे बढ़ाओ। नेक्स्ट, टायर्ड एंड टायरिंग। Which is tired and which is tiring? Think about it. The marathon runners were very, they were tired. है ना? थक गए थे लोग, मैराथन रन करेंगे तो थकेंगे नहीं। द मैराथन रनर्स वर वेरी, एंड दैट गेम वाज वेरी टायरिंग। दैट गेम ऑफ टेनिस वाज वेरी टायरिंग। पहले कभी नहीं बोला होगा टायरिंग, कभी नहीं बोला होगा, लाइफ में नहीं बोला होगा, पहली बार बोल रहे हो टायरिंग। ठीक है, कभी नहीं बोला होगा, लेकिन इसका मतलब समझ जाओ। दैट गेम वाज टायरिंग मतलब गेम लंबा चला कि तुरंत खत्म हो गया, तभी तो इट वाज टायरिंग। कौन बोल रहा होगा? जिस जो थका होगा वो बता रहा होगा कि भैया गेम वॉज वेरी टायरिंग, चल रहा है चल रहा है चल रहा है, इट वॉज वेरी टायरिंग। ओके, माई जॉब इज वेरी टायरिंग। तो मेरे जॉब से हम क्या हो जाते हैं? टायर्ड हो जाते हैं, बिकॉज माई जॉब इज वेरी टायरिंग। फिर आगे देखते हैं, नंबर 3, annoyed and annoying. Guys, the child's behavior was really annoying, right? The behavior was annoying. And the teacher was, because nobody did the homework. सोचो, nobody did the homework, टीचर को कैसा फील होगा? भागे से, right? So the teacher was annoyed. समझ गए दोस्तों? समझ गए? अगर मम्मी ने कहा बेटा सब्जी लेते आना और घर पहुंच गए खाली हाथ, then मम्मी feels annoyed. Okay. Number 4, worried and worrying. Think, take 1 extra minute, 1 minute extra. The We were very worried when we heard the news. जब खबर आई ना तो हम लोग को बहुत बहुत ज्यादा तनाव हो गया था, टेंशन हो गया था, चिंता हो गई थी। We were very worried when we heard the news, because the news is very Worrying. News is worrying. मतलब न्यूज खुश करने वाला, टेंशन देने वाला है. The news is very worrying. चलो आज के लिए बस इतना ही. Homework. The next page in the practice book. Rudra and Deepak, you guys not only did not come for that KYP, you went absent in the class as well today. What was that? I can't understand this. If you are not comfortable, you could have told me, "Na sir, nahi karna hai." But why did you miss the class? 5. Page number 50. Chalo do. Page number 39, listening section. 39. ये थोड़ा challenging है मेरे बच्चा. Challenging है थोड़ा, okay? It's a little difficult. Page number 39, exercise 6. Exercise 6, part 1 and 2. Only exercise 6, not exercise 7. Let's meet tomorrow, the day after tomorrow. Okay, people. We are wrapping up it early, 15 minutes early.